Hi, I'm Rob Talbot.
And I'm Emil Edwards.
And today we're going to talk about looking at your facility or looking at a situation and doing a threat assessment. Unfortunately, Emma, we live in a world where you used to be able to go to church and all that the pastor had to worry about was the sermon he was going to give. Right. Now he's got to worry about whether his people may or may not get out alive. Okay, so they should look. Can they hire you to come in and do a threat assessment of their facility?
Yes, they can. I do what they call physical security surveys. I can go to any business, and if they feel that their business is a soft target, one easy for someone to hit, I can go by and after doing a cursory search outside to look at their buildings and doing an inside check to see how well their buildings are maintained, I can determine possible ways where they can make their churches not such a soft target, but a moderate target maybe, or even a hard target, depending on where the church wants to go.
And you hate to think about it that way, but it's just the world we live in. There's the terms out there right now called hide or run, hide, and fight. What's that all about?
Okay, when it comes to active shooter situations, the victims in that situation has three things they can do. They can either run when it first happens, and they run outside the business. They do not go get their guns and come back in, because then they become a detriment. Because the police has no idea how many suspects they have at that point in time.
Sure.
The next one is hide, where they would go into a secure space, whether it's a supply room or a bathroom, someplace that has locked doors, locked wooden doors. They can go in there and they can hide down. And what they need to do with their cell phones is turn them off completely, except for one that can maintain contact with 911. And I highly recommend that if you're in a situation where you're hiding, make sure that when you're setting down below 4 foot high. And the reason for that is, if the person wants to come through the door, they may shoot a burst through the door to help weaken it so they can break through it. And you don't want to be standing up when it happens. You want to be below a possible line of fire.
So 4 feet is about the level that most people would fire at.
Yeah, because they'll shoot from the hip doing it a lot of times.
Sure. Okay.
And then the last situation is fight. If he does breach the door, you're going to have to make that mental decision that you're going to fight. You're going to fight for your life. So while all this is going on, you need to mentally take a look at everything around you. It's just like right here, I have fire extinguishers. I got boards that are thick that can cut and can hit. If I'm going to if I'm in that situation and I'm going to fight to win. It doesn't have to be a fair fight.
Well, yeah, because they weren't going to fight fair when they came in. Okay, Emma, let's talk about the elephant in the room. When it comes to active shooter situations, we're hearing too many stories that are happening in schools now. Kids are going in with guns and doing the unthinkable. As John Q. Public, we certainly we want it to stop, but we shouldn't be thinking we're going to be Rambo and run in there with our gun and we're going to take down this shooter. I mean, how do we handle a situation like that?
Well, if the school district decide they want to have teachers with firearms and or armed security, they want to make sure, one, if they have armed security, if they're CLEAT certified, because that means they've gone through extensive training already in regards to the use of firearms and use in various situations and things. As far as teachers, if the teacher's mental ethos, say for example you have a teacher that's prior service member, okay, and they've gone through boot camps. They might have been to Afghanistan. They might have been to Iraq. Might have been to Vietnam. Their ethos is different when it comes in regards to the use and handling of firearms. They have already been tested under fire, but whatever you have, you need to make sure that your armed response is well educated. You can see on Facebook every day of veterans and things saying, hey, look, I will stand at my kid's school all day long to provide security.
Right.
Okay? Well, that's fine and dandy. I'm sure the schools would appreciate that if it's approved. But when it comes to having an armed person at the school, they need to be sufficiently trained that they can handle the situations that they're going to encounter within that realm of activity, which in that case would be an active duty or active shooter situation.
I know in Oklahoma that the Oklahoma County Sheriff actually has resource officers that work at the schools. I think the schools pay for them. Do a lot of cities and counties have programs like that?
Yes, they do. Oklahoma City has resource officers for the Oklahoma City's public school systems. Choctaw has them out at Choctaw. and Shawnee officers are out there as well. That the communities have decided, okay, we want at least a dedicated officer for the school. But in any given situation, it should always be more than just a dedicated officer. It should be at least two, because you can only be at one place at one time.
Sure. And I know this is a little tangential from what you do, but unfortunately, kids have a bad habit of they don't want to be the rat. They don't want to be the snitch. They really have got to get to the point where if they see anything suspicious, they need to report it to their parents or to a teacher. I mean, isn't that true, or am I kind of making things up here?
No, I believe that's a true assessment. The United States is an infant in training. Have we ever really had to think about threat assessments in America? No. And the last 20 years, things have changed to the point to where we have to learn threat assessing situations in a timely manner and not be afraid to report something that's out of the ordinary. Just like Israel does. They have a great system.
Sure. Now, just one last thing. If I know that you're not, you do the training, but could parents, like a PTO or somebody, hire you to come in and talk to them about doing threat assessments for the public and things, so they understand the situation, unfortunately?
Yeah, they can call me up and I can get something arranged right now, but I'll say this. Most community relation officers with police departments are already, they have that already out there where they will go to a facility and teach them active shooter situations.
So they can, like if Choctaw High School, they can call the Choctaw Police Department.
Yeah,
Oklahoma City can call Oklahoma City, Oklahoma County. Well, that's great information to know. Thanks, Emil.
Thank you very much.
If you'd like more information, you can contact Emil at EEOutfitters.com, and you can also give him a call at 410-2589. Thanks, and have a nice day.
Thank you.